Good afternoon. The April 4th, 2024 regular board meeting of the City of Colleges of Chicago is now called to order. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Will the chief advisor please call the roll?
Vice Chair Swanson,
Here.
Secretary Davis,
Here.
Trustee Lopez,
Here.
Trustee Hatch,
Here.
Trustee Nuquez,
Here.
Trustee Sanchez,
Here.
Student Trustee Goldblum.
Here.
Thank you. We have quorum.
Thank you. Let the record show that in accordance with the Illinois Public Community College Act and the Illinois Open Meetings Act, we do have a quorum. So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the regular board meeting for April 2024. Thank you to President Lopez for hosting our meeting, and thanks to all of those joining us today. As you may notice, we have a number of new trustees with us today, which is really very exciting. I'd like to welcome our new members to the Board of Trustees. Marshall Hatch Sr., Darlene Hightower, who couldn't be with us today, Katia Nuquez, and Oscar Sanchez. So welcome to all. We're very excited to have you join this leadership team, and we really look forward to working with you all. So again, welcome. Given the addition of our new members, I'd actually like to divert from the standard order of proceedings and ask for consideration of Resolution 1.00, the election of officers first. Each year, the board is required to elect officers, and I will now turn it to Trustee Davis to specifically for the election of the chair.
Thank you, Trustee Swanson. Section 1.4.2 of our board bylaws calls for an annual election to fill the office of chair. I would like to nominate Katia Nuquez to serve as board chairperson.
Thank you, Trustee Davis. Are there any other nominations? Okay, hearing none, may I please have a motion or a second to the Secretary's motion on the nomination as proposed? Second. Thank you. The motion having been properly made and seconded and receiving no additional nominations, I hereby declare the nominations closed. And I recognize Trustee Davis again.
Thank you, Trustee Swanson. I move for the approval of Resolution 1.00.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
I would now ask the Chief Advisor to call the roll on Resolution 1.00.
Thank you. Vice Chair Swanson,
Approved.
Secretary Davis,
Approved.
Trustee Lopez,
Approved.
Trustee Hatch,
Approved.
Trustee Sanchez, Trustee Goldblum.
Approved.
Okay, thank you. Let the record reflect the election of our new chair, and Resolution 1.00 has been approved. Thank you all. And with that, it's my pleasure to turn the meeting over to Chair Nuquez.
Thank you, everybody, and good afternoon. It is.
Get the gavel.
Official gavel.
I will pass the torch.
Thank you. So it's an honor to serve as the chair of the City Colleges of Chicago Board of Trustees, and I would like to share a little bit about myself. Being a supporter of the City Colleges of Chicago since I started living and working in Chicago in 2005. I'm originally from Ecuador, born and raised. When I started working in Little Village Community Development Corporation, they were actually building their community schools programs. Parental involvement in school was a key pillar of the 2005 Quality of Life Plan for the neighborhood. The city colleges played a key role in welcoming parents to school buildings by partnering with local organizations such as Enlace to provide English as a second language and GED classes at many public schools. Throughout the years, this partnership flourished as the city colleges became a member of the Little Village Education Collaborative and increased their presence and recruitment efforts in the community. 3 of their colleges were among the 5 higher education institutions that received the highest number of students from local schools. In the last couple of decades, the city colleges have significantly strengthened their partnerships with local schools, parents, and community-based organizations in Little Village, contributing to a significant improvement in educational attainment and indicators such as college enrollment and parental engagement at local schools. A few years ago, while still at Enlace, we partnered with the city colleges for the creation of a new certification program for community health promoters in Spanish. Malcolm X College had been offering this program in English, but now the program is offering Spanish at the Arturo Velázquez satellite. More than 60 health promoters in 4 cohorts have now obtained their certification, and this certification has benefited them greatly by allowing them to obtain employment in different organizations who work with and recruit community health promoters, such as Enlace Chicago, Rush, Universidad Popular, and others. I was able to serve in the search committee for the president of Daly College a few years ago, and also was a member of the Daly Community Advisory Board until 2 years ago when I started working at the McCormick Foundation. In my new role in philanthropy, I continue to be a strong advocate of the city colleges and their vision of being an accessible engine for socioeconomic mobility and racial equity, making Chicago stronger and more just. There are many amazing things happening and opportunities that I am very excited about. The increased enrollment of Black and Latino males, the partnerships with specific industries and employers and with the Chicago Public Schools, the focus on enrollment and retention, the partnership with 1 Million Degrees, and of course the expansion of our health programs at Malcolm X and Kennedy King colleges. As the new chair, I will listen to all stakeholders and will be very respectful of everyone's opinion. I will treat everyone with fairness and take into consideration different perspectives. I'm extremely excited about the opportunity of serving the city that I now call home and proud to be leading the city colleges alongside Chancellor Salgado and his amazing team. Thank you. I would now like to introduce my colleagues who are also new to the board, Reverend Marshall Hatch and Oscar Sanchez as new members of the board. If you can tell us a little bit about yourselves, Reverend Hatch.
Marshall Hatch, a resident of Austin, and I pastor in West Garfield Park, Mount Pilgrim Church for the last 30 years. We are winners of the Chicago Prize, and so we have the most celebrated community development project called Sankofa Wellness Village, which will have Sankofa Wellness Center with our community partners from Rush Hospital, Erie Health, and the YMCA. And also on our campus, we host the Ma'afa Redemption Project, which has been working since about 2017 and alongside another project, Beautiful Seed. And so it is a great work in West Garfield Park that we're very delighted to be able to serve. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Hatch. Oscar?
Well, let me be the first one to say congratulations, Chair. And my name is Oscar Sanchez. I'm a proud resident of the Southeast Side or the South Side of Chicago. And I'm really honored to be here with you all today as a trustee. My background comes from being from the Southeast Side, being an alumni from City College of Chicago, and then being able to serve on the Illinois Community College Board for 2 terms. Alongside those opportunities, I've been able to see the way that City Colleges is transformative And for myself, I think that's something that I've seen in my own family with my really proud to be brother to Francisco, who is now studying mechanical engineering at UIC, but he didn't start until he first started going to Richard Daley College because he didn't see himself in education. So for myself, I am someone who really cares about what we're doing for our youth, what we're doing for our community members who feel left out of these conversations and are looking at Chicago as an opportunity for their families. And alongside that, just looking at ways that we can be innovative in practices and really leaning on state funding that's available to us that can really build out our opportunities for our administration alongside our community members and alongside our staff. So really honored to be here with y'all today. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Hatch and Trustee Sanchez. For the record, due to FC4 President's work schedule, they will not be attending the meeting today. However, the report will be entered into the record. I would like to say a special thank you to our student trustee, Yehada Goldblum, whose term ends this month. I want to take a moment to truly express my gratitude, and I am sure the gratitude of my fellow trustees for your care in supporting all of our student government associations and representing them here at the district leadership level. We are now going to invite Trustee Goldblum to please proceed with his final report. May we all listen to this bright young man share his enthusiasm for city colleges and appreciate the diligence that he has exhibited during his time as a student trustee.
Thank you so much. And thank you to all the new trustees. It really was such a pleasure, also the one who isn't here. Such a pleasure to read your bios and just hear from you just now about the amazing work you've done and the work that you will do. I feel that the board is in good hands as much as ever, but especially with new changes, it's exciting to think of the new possibilities for our future. I'll begin briefly with a summary of what DSGA, so the district student government here, has achieved this month, and I'll close with some closing remarks. There were a total of 38 reported district-wide events in the month of March, 19 student socials, 5 community events, 9 resource events, 4 advocacy events, and 1 other. Some highlights from Harold Washington. They had the She Rise Women in Tech Summit on March 13th, celebrating women in tech and their achievements, history, and future. They organized a march to the polls for the primary and registered students to vote. They also hosted an open forum to discuss security concerns with the Director of Security, President and Vice President in attendance, looking for solutions. They also highlighted 6 staff and 5 student stories in March for Women's History Month, which was posted on their Instagram. From Kennedy King, they hosted a student social called the Chill Spot for Women's History Month, which was providing a safe space for women on campus to get together, have a relaxing time, and share stories. They also visited Dawson Technical Institute to meet their SGA and provide students with an opportunity to express their thoughts as well as join SGA to have some representation from the Dawson Technical Institute. They also were involved with the spring primary, hosting a March Civic Tuesday. From Malcolm X, they hosted a safety forum as well. They collaborated with the security department for April Sexual Assault Awareness Month to address student concerns. They hosted a comprehensive list of guest speakers, which will be available on my report if anyone wants to look. There's quite a long list. People from the CTA, CPD, and other organizations as well. From Daly College, they hosted a spring summit promotion, which was promoting students who are interested in leadership roles. They planned this in order to allow the student body to learn the necessary skills to become greater leaders. They reviewed 21 students' applications and 15 total students were accepted. Their quote of the month is, "The way to right wrongs is to turn the light of truth upon them," from Ida B. Wells. And last but not least, Wilbur Wright College has had some very successful student socials, community events, resource events, with numbers in the hundreds of students attending. Their Taco Tuesday, International Women's Day event, a Baila con SHIP and LASO. SHIP is the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, and LASO is the Latin American Student Organization. They learned how to dance together. Some people truly learned how to dance. And they also hosted a Ramadan tabling and SGA roundtable for students to voice their opinions and also to spread awareness of the recent tuition increase. For DSGA news, ICCB SAC, the Student Advisory Committee from the Illinois Community College Board, hosted their final meeting at Sauk Valley Community College. I was in attendance, and we discussed a change in the lobby day topic from support for open educational resources and community or college course material affordability, moving to funding for mental health services on community college campuses in response to changes in the state budget. And to close, it's been an honor and a privilege serving the city colleges. I got involved in SGA at Wright College during my first semester. I was looking for a community, a sense of purpose, and hope for the future. What I found was an incredible amount of work that needed to be done and good friends to do it with. After serving as the SGA secretary, my advisor, Katie Ordinario, recommended I run as student trustee. I had no idea what that meant, but she told me there was nobody else running for the position and that I'd be a good fit. It wasn't really a choice to run, but it was a call to action. Part of me wanted to run away, but I couldn't let other people suffer from my own sense of inadequacy. Public service isn't about elevating your status, acquiring power, or trying to mold the world into your own idea of what it should be. It's about answering the call of people who need your help. It's about putting somebody else's life above your own. I've tried my best to fill the gigantic shoes that the student trustee position carries with it. In following the footsteps of the leaders who came before me, my goal has always been helping people become more loving, peaceful, and joyous versions of themselves. And I know I've succeeded in that regard. There's a proverb that says, hope is as hollow as fear. When I look at all the incredible programs, supports, and initiatives the City Colleges has going on, I feel both hopeful and afraid. Hopeful when seeing the compassion and devotion of fellow students, staff, administrators, board members. Afraid of the many challenges my generation faces and has yet to face, of the sheer inertia of institutional change. What it comes down to is how willing we are to make sacrifices right now for the sake of those to come. As leaders, we must find discipline in response to the temptations of comfort, recognition, or petty rivalries, especially when it requires putting on a brave face to hide the fear of failure. We must do what's needed for our communities and a better future for all. Thank you so much for this incredible opportunity and your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Student Trustee Goldblum. Chancellor Salgado, please proceed with your remarks.
Thank you, Chair Nukas. I wasn't going to start. I wanted to end with you, Student Trustee Goldblum, but your leadership has been exemplary. Your guidance through in this particular period of time, and just, you know, the natural way you use the word love and care, and bring the human spirit, you know, into the work that we do within this education sphere, has been noticed by all of us, and essential, I think, to the culture of care that we aspire to have, you know, in every one of our interactions, in every one of our decisions, and every one of our investments that we make in the well-being of our students, in education, but quite frankly, beyond education, right? You know, your reports, your contributions, the conversations that you've had with all of us, perspective that you've shared, the invitation that you've made for us to come to SGA and to interact in genuine and authentic ways has been extremely valuable, and we're deeply thankful. And I do hope this has been a wonderful experience for you, you know, one that you can build upon in the future, and that these relationships that you've built, you know, certainly with me, but with everybody else, they're lifelong, right? So please do not ever hesitate to reach out to us and let us know how things are going, right? And how we can be helpful, okay? And please extend that as your final words to the SGA leadership that you work with, that they should do the same, right? But thank you for everything that you've done. Appreciate you. And I think it's fitting, you know, that we didn't make it this way, but it just so happens that the cadence of transition with student trustees now coincides with Community College Month in Illinois. Because if you all hadn't heard, Governor Pritzker declared April Community College Month in Illinois. So look, community colleges, we now have our month. Okay? I think that's a big deal. You know, and I'm told it's also across the country. It's Community College Month in the United States of America today, right? So thank you to our students for your efforts, to our staff, to you know, our faculty, to our trustees, past and present. You know, this is it's an honor to be able to be a part of this institution wherever we sit. You know, the contributions that we're making are being noticed by many. Look, there's a lot to celebrate today. I do want to make sure that, you know, I give a big hearty welcome to the new trustees to the board. You know, each of our new members, you've heard from them, combines an extensive leadership experience, but also very intimate connection to the work that we do through family members, through friends, through community work. You know, the prior exposure is quite extensive. In particular, to Trustee Sanchez, who, you know, this was your place of study. This very institution, you spent many, many hours, you know, here. I remember one of my first meetings with student leadership was with you, learning about your work with the Illinois Community College Board. And so to have you back here in this way, I think is, you know, quite exceptional, and I think a good bookend to Trustee Goldman's, you know, leadership, right? And so thank you for that. To Trustee Nukas, Trustee Hatch, Trustee Hightower, we really appreciate the contributions you have already made, but the ones that you will make, and just your dedication and commitment to this institute. I've always said and continue to say, these are volunteer positions. You know, they take time, they take dedication. You know, it's you know, a duty, you know, that each one of our trustees, past and present, had taken on, and it's because, you know, they really believe and have a deep appreciation for our mission. So, you know, we look forward, though, even though I would just say I came into this role as chancellor, you know, feeling like I knew quite a bit about city colleges. I learned so much more when I came here as chancellor. And so I do want to invite our new trustees to, you know, even though you have a perspective of a student or a community member, having the perspective of a trustee, you know, is slightly different. And you'll see more. You'll see more programs, more services, more opportunities for growth and improvement, right? And in all those things, we will work with you alongside with our existing trustees. And so, welcome, okay? For today, we're gonna have a report on our spring enrollment, and I'm pleased to see that we continue to make strong progress rebounding from the COVID period. We are surpassing and continue to surpass state and national averages, as you'll see. And again, this is the hard work of everyone. Vice Chancellor Williams is gonna report on this work. We've made critical investments, I wanna remind folks, in the enrollment enterprise with Vice Chancellor Williams, his office, with the marketing efforts that we've done, with the customer service work at the local college level. It's everybody, enrollment management teams at the colleges themselves. It's everybody, working together. And I wanted to take a minute because the marketing team has put together some really great new videos that are gonna go live. And so I wanted to show one that's more of a city colleges overarching video that's been done, but we have one for each of the colleges. So I encourage everyone when you get these to look at them. But it's another. You see us on billboards, you're gonna see us on social media, you're gonna see us in community, but you're all gonna see these kinds of image and storytelling that we're doing. Go ahead and roll it.
More than.
More than.
More than I imagined.
More possibilities than I ever dreamed.
City Colleges of Chicago.
From the north side
To the south side.
To the west side.
on my side.
On my side.
Conmigo.
Na moją stronę.
There's a path in front of me.
And there's support behind me.
I've got a plan.
I got an apprenticeship.
I got a transfer scholarship.
I'm getting the skills to write my own future.
Close to home.
Second to none. City Colleges
Of Chicago.
See you in class.
Yeah. Please, in addition to this, we've got a rich set of student stories that we're tracking on a regular basis, faculty stories. It's our people. It's our people that we invest in that makes us a transformational institution, and that's what we are trying to communicate to the world. Every day, but every board meeting, I take a moment to share some accomplishments of our team. So I'd like to begin by recognizing 17 students from Harold Washington and Wilbur Wright colleges who recently returned from Washington, D.C., where they attended the American Student Association of Community Colleges Conference and learned how to advocate for the needs of community college students. Our students work to develop their leadership and advocacy skills, including visits to the offices of Senator Durbin and Representative Quigley. Special thanks to Student Activities Director at Wright College, Kathleen Ordinario, and Harold Washington College Director, Aja Humphreys, who helped to coordinate the trip. Earlier this week, I joined the governor for an announcement of the state's investment in the emerging quantum economy. City College was chosen, as we presented at the last board meeting, to co-lead the workforce development and community outreach component of the state's investment in the quantum industry. We are leading this effort as the lead entity. We're doing it in partnership with Harper College in the suburbs, and we're doing it in collaboration with Ivy Tech in northern and western Indiana and with Gateway. We're bringing community colleges to make the case that we should be at the center of this new emerging industry. And the governor's office and the University of Chicago have agreed, and we're hoping through this $70 million proposal, around $20 million, which would come to city colleges that we would administrate, that the Economic Development Administration at the federal level agrees with us as well. Okay. okay? So we're looking forward to that. Also this month, we announced Runway 606, a new partnership with Illinois Tech and CPS that will help to cut down the time our students spend earning an associate's degree as well as a bachelor's and master's degree in cybersecurity, saving them time, money, putting more students on a path to a lucrative career in a high-demand field. As we heard in the committee meeting today, we are also proud to have announced the expansion of healthcare programs on the South Side. I want to thank President Sanders, President Will Walker, all of the team members that have worked diligently as a team with the U Chicago in order to get us to this moment. I also want to congratulate 18 employees from Kennedy King, Malcolm X, and Olive Harvey colleges who are 2024 National Institute for Staff and Organizational Development NISOD Excellence Award recipients. The NISOD Excellence Awards were established in 1991 to provide NISOD member colleges with an opportunity to recognize individuals doing extraordinary work on their campuses. A full list of our winners are shared on our news blog. I also want to recognize, too, NISOD issues recognition of colleges as promising places to work, and this year has recognized both Malcolm X and Olive Harvey College as the 2024 promising places to work. So congratulations to the members of those colleges and the leadership of those colleges. I, too, was able to participate in another recognition, so congratulations to Richard J. Daley College's Manufacturing, Technology, and Engineering Center, MTech, which is the 2024 recipient of MHub. MHub is an incubator for new, growing, expanding manufacturing enterprises in the city of Chicago. So you can imagine the entire manufacturing community was at this Fourth Revolution Community Empowerment award ceremony, and we didn't know before who would win. We just sort of showed up, and the drum rolled, and guess what? We won. And so, according to MHub, Daley was selected as this year's recipient due to its work bringing diversity, equity, and inclusion to the technology, manufacturing, and innovation spaces, and is an organization that's shaping the future of industry. So congrats to President Janowski and the manufacturing team at Daley for that, okay? 12 City Colleges students make up more than half of the 23 semifinalists selected from the state of Illinois for the prestigious Jack Kent Cooke Undergraduate Transfer Scholarship. This is a substantial scholarship that helps our students to get their bachelor's degree. I might add that 8 of our semifinalists are part of the Wright College engineering program. So kudos to the students, the transfer center directors, the faculty and staff, everyone who supported them. Our alumni are doing amazing things too. And so if you ever hear of alumni, that are trailblazing and, doing interesting things out there and getting recognized, please let us know, because we want to celebrate them as well, right? So today I want to celebrate 2 alumni from City Colleges who have been recognized as finalists for the Golden Apple Awards for Excellence in Teaching, okay? Melissa Pantoja and Precious Allen join an esteemed group of 30 pre-K to 3rd grade teachers as finalists for this award, which highlights outstanding educators who leave a lasting positive impact on student lives and their school communities. They'll soon find out, right? We're rooting for them, okay? But the fact that they were nominated is already an incredible recognition of their dedication and their commitment. And so we thank them for their contributions to the future generation and have a big round of applause from here to them, wherever they may be. So with that, Chair, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor Salgado. We have requests for public participation today. When your name is called, please proceed to the podium where you will have up to 3 minutes to make remarks on the subject that you indicated in your communication to the board office. The chief advisor will notify you when you've used the 3 minutes of your time, and we ask that you kindly bring your remarks to a close. As you registered, you were reminded of our procedures with regards to the nature of your comments, and I would ask you to respect and adhere to that direction and the time requirement. Chief Advisor, please proceed with the speakers.
Thank you. This first speaker is Carlos Aulet.
Good afternoon and welcome to the new members of the board. We'll be looking forward to working with you. My name is Carlos Aulet. I'm the Vice President of ASME Local 3506. We represent the teachers of city colleges. I would like to add, going a little bit off script here, that I am a former Marine 2 years. I'm happy to be here by the grace of by the wisdom of Buddha, the grace of God, and the grace of Allah, I'm here. And what I have to say to the new board members, do the right thing. I fought to have you there. You are there because I fought for that. To my colleagues, I fought for your right to speak. Say what's on your mind. Say what's on your mind. I have spent over 55 years, yeah, you heard me right, over 55 years in public service, from city, county, and state government, working occasionally with the federal government. I've been around for a while, so this is a little bit off script. I just want to make a remark for food for thought. What those close to 55 years in government, by the way, 22 of those, I'm going on 23 with city colleges. I've learned that the police do not solve crime. City colleges has the responsibility of that. We can do that effectively if we do the right thing. Okay. Back to script. The city colleges of Chicago play a crucial role in providing adult education statewide. The importance of adult education can be understood in several key areas: workforce development, social and economic mobility, community development, and safety. 4, addressing educational gaps. 5, supporting non-traditional students. 6, cultural integration and language acquisition. The Adult Education Faculty Union at the City Colleges of Chicago is a vital component of the institution. Here are several reasons why the union is essential. Advocacy for quality education. The union advocates for adequate resources, curriculum development, and innovative teaching methods. The union helps maintain and enhances the quality of education provided to the students. 2, faculty rights and welfare. By ensuring that faculty members are well supported, the union helps attract, retain high-quality educators, which directly benefits students. 3, voice for faculty and students. We work hard to ensure that their concerns and needs are considered in decision-making processes, promoting a more inclusive and responsive educational environment. 4, supporting equity and access. By addressing barriers to education and supporting inclusive policies, underline, ASME 3506 helps ensure that adult education programs are accessible to everyone.
Thank you. Your time
Stability
is up.
and continuity. And job security for faculty. Continue to the stability and continuity of the educational programs. The stability benefits students who can rely on consistent, high-quality education. Community education, community engagement. Our union is involved in initiatives that extend beyond the campus, engaging with the local community from raising awareness about the importance of adult education and bringing to the attention of city colleges communities' needs. In conclusion, by providing accessible, relevant, and high-quality education to adults, citywide colleges plays fundamental role in empowering individuals, strengthening the workforce, and enhancing the community overall well-being. The Adult Education Faculty Union at City Colleges of Chicago is crucial for the institution as it ensures the quality of education, advocates for the rights and needs of faculty and students. We need Board of Trustees to address the role of our faculty union with Chancellor Salgado, who refuses to see our role as a key stakeholder.
Thank you. Your time is up. Michelle Flores. We would ask that you adhere to the 3-minute rule. Thank you.
My name is Michelle Flores, and I've been an adult educator at City Colleges for the last 18 years at Wilbur Wright College. I'm a chief steward of the CCC's Adult Educators and Coordinators Union. The Adult Education Department historically has been the most extensive program at the City Colleges, and yet is constantly overlooked and underprivileged. We help working people by attaining their GED, which can help them get a job or a career. We give them tools to support themselves and their families. We also help immigrants learn English and improve their lives. ESL students can take English classes, computer classes, citizenship classes, conversation classes. We offer programs like Bridge and Gateway so that GED students and ESL students may obtain credentials and start their careers, and they can also continue on to get their associate's degree. Ultimately, we are a program that connects our community colleges to their communities. Regrettably, the administration appears indifferent to the importance of what we do. Instead of caring for our instructors or incentivizing educators to stay or to join city colleges, they hire more administrators. Having senior deans, multiple associate deans, multiple managers for the same adult education department has resulted in less connection with the administration and faculty and further isolation of adult education from the city colleges. These administrators spend so much time meeting with district and others that they never can be found. It is not cost effective and is not working. For example, I, a Simply union officer, was contacted by my associate vice chancellor to find some simple paperwork that could have easily been found by his senior staff, his senior dean that he has chosen. When I asked and said, hey, this is a part of your office's job, I was told that it was part of everyone's due diligence to get it done. All right, these people could not even attempt or simply ask an instructor for some paperwork. They asked me to do it, a lowly part-time worker. It would make much sense to have a program supported by professionals like myself, full-time instructors, not so many administrators. However, they're taking teachers out of the classroom. They're relegating our faculty's crucial and skill-based tasks, responsibilities, and contributions to managers and other unions, and at the same time, piling on meaningless, trivial tasks. We're already suffering a teacher shortage, and they're already gladly hiring more administrators and constantly turning students away because there are not enough teachers to teach the class. The Adult Education Department depends on testing rates, level gains that only happen if you have teachers who participate in this department. Teachers need to be focused on instruction and our students. It doesn't make sense that multiple administrators and management making 6-figure salaries are still delegating various little tasks to instructors. These are the same people that are surprised and very offended when me, an unfairly designated part-time worker, asks for more time to complete these tasks, fair pay, seniority, affordable health care, and growth opportunities. We teach more hours a year than CPS instructors. I have students in classes that are in the morning, in the evening, the weekends, the summer. We help our students with other issues as the college student services are not always available for what I teach. Adult educators have dealt with a lot for the sake of our students because we care about them. We are flexible and have to think on our feet, especially when there are no books available, there's no technology available, and no accommodations for our students with special needs. That happens a lot at Wright College as well. Management is taking advantage of our compassion for our students.
Thank you. Your time is up.
I have one more thing. We're currently in negotiations and constantly hearing the phrase, we hear you, but no. That is not negotiation. If we could truly negotiate and collaborate, we can make this program better than it was. Thank you.
George Rambanis.
My name is George Rubanis. I'm the president of the Adult Faculty Union. Happy spring to everyone. Congratulations to this newly instituted board. We have great hopes. After all, it's spring. It is a cold spring, so that's exactly how we feel as the faculty of this institution. We're cold and worried about what we have been experiencing during the pandemic and problems that are not going away despite the fact that the pandemic is over. But we're hopeful. A few days ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago, I heard one of the board members speak about the joy of having some of our students, I think, go to France. I also heard about how multinational corporations trust our students. They better trust our students. That's all they got. You know, we are the working people, the people of this city, that make these corporations rich, so they better trust us. You know, I started my life in Chicago as a city college's at Truman. And as a teacher now, I would like to share with you two stories, really briefly, about adult education students, not the ones who go to France, the ones who come to my classroom. I'm going to call them Juan and Juan. Both are real stories. The names are made up. Juan is a recent immigrant. He walked to the border. Everything was stripped away from him while he was walking to the border. The Texas authority took everything that he had left, put him in some sweats, and put him in a bus to Chicago. He has found a job. He has no assets. He walks 45 minutes to work from the place he has found to live, and then he works 45 minutes and 25 more to come to my classroom every day. He trusts me. He trusts you. And he has earned my respect, and he should earn your respect as well. Juan was my student when I was teaching GED, because now I teach transition ESL and ESL classes. During the pandemic, he stayed home to take care of his handicapped brother, his sister, that she was in elementary school. He was helping while his mom worked to support all four of them. He was very consistent in his work. He was there for his family. Unfortunately, his last phone call to his mama got shot. I'm sorry, I won't be able to help my little brother and sister. These are our adult education students. We can do better, but that takes everyone working together, and this is not happening. Our goals are the same, but as the president of this union, I don't know what the goals of this administration is regarding adult education. I have asked the chancellor to tell me. Nothing. I mean, you know, we read the meaningless paperwork. I get it. We're not part of setting up these goals.
Thank you. Your time is running out. Can you wrap up a little?
I want to say two more words. Informed decision-making improves faculty morale. It builds trust. And ultimately, it helps us to achieve our goals. We're asking this board to help the chancellor to make 3 immediate moves. Number one, give us our sick days that the city of Chicago, the rules of the city of Chicago, tells him that he needs to give us, and he's not giving to us. Do one thing for our students. especially the ones who live close to downtown and work downtown, thousands of them, open Harold Washington to our students. It's a sad thing that this great building does not have a single adult education student. And number three, we are in negotiations. Negotiations are about compromise, but we're not going to be compromised because we have the same goals, the same mission with you. We're not going to compromise our mission, and you shouldn't either. Thank you very much. Happy spring.
Victoria Dross.
Hello, my name is Victoria Draus. I've been an adult education math teacher. I'm a math specialist for the past 25 years. So, as a math teacher, I am used to following rules and processes, and the executive board of AFSCME 3506 is disappointed in the City College of Chicago under the leadership of Chancellor Salgado has refused to enforce City College rules. It has come to AFSCME's attention that City Colleges of Chicago continues to operate in violation of the City College Paid Sick Leave Ordinance, CC 6105, by failing to provide adequate paid sick leave to its adult educators and adult education coordinators. It is one specific and easily correctable example of adult educators and coordinators not getting the respect we deserve and the professional and legal consideration that we have earned. Our adult educators and adult education coordinators are not receiving the paid sick leave they are entitled to as a minimum under that law. A law that was passed by the City of Chicago to assure the well-being of working people and to provide stability as we try to support our families and our students. Perhaps the CCC administration was unaware of the law and has been inadvertently forcing our members to take on the burden of enforcing the law through needless and time-consuming individual grievances and complaints. There's a very simple remedy to this specific problem. AFSCME 3506 requests that the Chancellor's Office sends a memo to every CCC employee, including adult education workers and relevant administrators, by the 21st of April, alerting them to the Chicago Paid Sick Leave Policy and reminding them that this law applies to City College's employees. Please note that it is unlawful for any employer to discriminate in any manner or take any adverse action against any employee in retaliation for exercising their rights under the Chicago Paid Sick Leave Ordinance. We look forward to your update regarding this matter and working together to quickly resolve this urgent matter on the behalf of AFSCME represented adult educators and coordinators. Thank you.
Thank you, and that concludes our speakers.
Thank you to all the speakers. Now we have Vice Chancellor Williams. Vice Chancellor, please proceed with your presentation.
Good afternoon, trustees, Chair Nunez, Vice Chair Swanson, district officers, college presidents, and other attendees. My name is Dr. Darrell Williams. I'm the Vice Chancellor of Enrollment Management here at City Colleges of Chicago. And like the Chancellor mentioned earlier, everything we do is based off of our vision and our values. our vision of being an educational engine of socioeconomic mobility, and our values. There are 6 of them, but throughout this presentation, you'll see a focus on the top 2, exceptional student experience as well as being an equitable institution. So overall, we have good news, or I have good news to talk about this afternoon. Here's the executive summary, then I'll give you some of the talking points. So we continue to rebound from the pandemic declines. As mentioned earlier, we're beating national and statewide averages and standards, as well as for this past spring, our head count was up 9.2%, as well as 6 of the 7 colleges increased their head count. And our 30% admitted to yield rate metrics is still working. And a lot of significant increases in adult education, early college, and academic programs and market investments played an amazing role into our growth. But what I want to talk about first is just the people, and acknowledge the district officers, the district enrollment management team, the college presidents, the deans of enrollment, as well as the faculty and staff that really put this together. This was a tough class and very difficult, but just that radical collaboration, we were able to pull this off. So I'll talk about the overall enrollment trends in the fiscal year, and then I'll double click and get down into this past spring class. So for the fiscal year, you'll see at the beginning of the pandemic where we were. And then you'll see once the pandemic took effect, we had a decline. But you'll see somewhere around fiscal year 22 that we started to ramp up. Adult education started to gain speed and gain momentum, and you'll see in fiscal year 23, adult education was already up, as well as credit. And then also I want to point out too, with continuing education, we responded to the city's needs. We had some programs specifically for Chicago PD, stress management, as well as we had some contact tracing programs that we no longer needed after the pandemic ended. So you'll see that right now, preliminary for fiscal year 24, that there's increases in credit, adult education, and continuing ed is a little shy, but overall, we were only basically 3,500 students roughly away from being at post-pandemic levels. So this is a significant performance, so shout out to everyone. Now, right here, this is a comparison of all the last 3 fiscal years, okay? For the top part, you see this is head count. Head count is people, and then the second line, credit hour production, so the number of courses that students took. So 6 of the 7 colleges increased their head count. So you'll see strong performances, and even some double-digit performances, right? Double-digit for Daly, as well as Olive Harvey, Kennedy King. But then you'll see even some flat performances, right? And in this environment, keeping what you have is a win, And you'll see that with Harold Washington as well as Wright. So all schools, and Wright was pretty much flat right there. Malcolm X leading the way, with head count. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to take a minute and put a few presidents on the spot. President Janowski, if you could, just a few words in regards to some of the initiatives that Daly had put in place to make this happen, followed by President Kimberly Hollingsworth.
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity. The college has really come together over the last few years, working as a college, led by our enrollment management team and the other leaders at the college, to intentionally reach out to potential students and intentionally reach out to our current students regarding credit hour production and also enrollment. But I also like to thank the leadership at District Office for Enrollment Management and Recruiting for them to be strong partners of ours. Our Sentinel initiative that we call it Daly 4.0, and we work from the position that everybody at Daly College has a role in recruiting, enrolling, and working with our students to be successful. So I'd like to thank all at Daly College as well as those at District Office for us working together to achieve the results that we did.
Thank you for the opportunity. I tell Dr. Williams this all the time, that I think that he's way too humble and doesn't take enough credit for the work that he and his team has done. I think that our strategic enrollment management plan has really played an integral role in our success. It is not a document that we have put on a shelf and forgotten about. We actively engage with our SIM plan, and there's never a time when I can't call Dr. Williams or anyone from his team for some advice about how we can move our institution forward. We have been laser focused on ensuring that we have culturally relevant programming that meets and speaks to the needs of the community of the Roseland-Pullman area and the greater Chicagoland area. And so I just think that the collective efforts of our college and our desire to grow has really catapulted our enrollment growth.
Thank you, President Hollingsworth and Janowski. Now, when it comes to credit hour is very important because it's a form of revenue as well as we have our state appropriations based off of it. So you'll see, once again, double-digit credit hour performance in percentages, but you also see two institutions that are leading the way in the charge in that. So if you could, President Lopez, followed by President Potash, just about a few things in regards to your credit hour production.
Well, first of all, thank you also for the opportunity. We are really thrilled to be able to lead the district when it comes to our credit enrollment production here at the college. But, once again, this is the work of many. I've actually been talking about the number of people that we work with, not only at district, but also at the college. I've been really strategic about investing, and the Chancellor talked a little bit about investing overall in enrollment. Here at the college, we've done the same thing in terms of including or increasing staff to better support our enrollment efforts here at the college, and I think that has made some significant increases in terms of contributions, I should say, to our enrollment. I also have financial aid, the registrars, and our testing center that are part of our enrollment management team, and I think that really helps in terms of making sure that it's everyone or all hands on deck when it comes to enrollment.
I'd like to echo President Hollingsworth. I think you are too humble at times, Dr. Williams, because you've really professionalized enrollment management, and I've learned from working with you and your team. I think you're also correct in identifying the people, because as my colleagues have mentioned, it's very much a team effort. In terms of credit hour enrollment and focus, what we are really excited about at Wright are some of the initiatives that have been advanced by the Chancellor, the Provost, and across city colleges, one of which is year-long course scheduling. And the discussions we've had with students and faculty, I think we don't have it yet, that'll be coming this coming fall, but that has helped us change our scheduling and modality to provide more opportunities for students to take more classes. It isn't just offering the class, it's knowing which students need which class and which modality at what time. And that requires, as my colleagues have said, a team effort. The mandatory advising, which is kicking in and has been piloted, I think has also been instrumental in connecting students early on with advisors and faculty and helping them develop programs. That gives us a better opportunity to get students into the better class, in the better modality, at the better time. And we're optimistic with these and other changes that the small gains we saw in credit hour enrollment this spring are going to be larger next fall.
Thank you, President Potash and Lopez. So now we get into this past spring enrollment numbers. So now you'll see, this says at census, this was the head count. Census is the time where we do a snapshot for the ICCB, Illinois Community College Board. So once again, 6 or 7 colleges had positive growth. Now you'll see Malcolm X leading the way year over year. The top line was 23. The bottom line is spring 24, plus 597 students, followed by Wright in volume, as well as Truman in 3rd place and Daly in 4th place. So if we could, President Sanders, some of the initiatives that you've put in place in the formation to maintain like that. I know you have your own way of rallying your troops. I'd like for you to share a little bit of that too, if you don't mind, followed by President Jackson.
Sure. So one of the things that we do is, the first thing is we always say that there's never a semester where we can't reach enrollment. And so it's really all about trying to ensure that we are sharing the value proposition that we have with all of our students, and that we are creating an environment that's conducive to learning and that people feel warm and welcoming in. And so that starts with your employees, making sure that they feel that way, and then they drive the work to get us out there. And then think about other ways to enroll. So a couple of times we've taken iPads and gone out and enrolled right on the street to make sure that we're bringing the enrollment to them.
Thank you, President Sanders. President Jackson.
Yeah, I think for us, we are really having a focused effort, just like my colleagues, on what the student experience feels like at Truman College, and really trying to get people to get access to our culture and experience when they're making choices to decide where they want to make their destination in college. I also would attribute it to us being more aggressive in what pipelines can look like for potential enrollment. I think quite oftentimes we have gotten stuck in what we think the community college student looks like, and for years, and definitely under your leadership, I want to make sure that I'm echoing the same sentiments as my colleagues. We're looking at enrollment much differently, and I would attribute that to our success at Truman.
All right, thank you. And the reason why I wanted to have all the presidents tell what they're doing, because this is the summation, and this is what it came out to be. You'll see Illinois Community College Board is consisted of 48 schools. So City Colleges makes up roughly 14.5% of that. Average state increase was 5.1%. We came in at 9.2. And then you'll see for the top 3 performances of the state of Illinois are all city colleges. As a matter of fact, these 3 schools were also in the top for fall as well. Now, as a district, you'll see where we are collectively at 9.2, and it's still ahead of our peer institutions. Now, below the line, you'll see a 1.0 and a 0.8, but once again, that's still flat, and those are still solid numbers. President Webb Walker, this is the second time that Kennedy King has been top in the state consecutively. Number 2 for fall, and number 1, increased to number 1 for spring. You want to share a few things that you've done over Kennedy King?
Sure. So like my colleagues, we made some strategic investments in enrollment management. We added an additional recruiter. We made some investments in our admissions personnel. We wanted to make sure that we're not losing students from the point at which they express interest or they talk to a recruiter to actually helping them to navigate the process so that we, increase that yield. We also, our strategic enrollment management plan is a living document, and as such, we've made some revisions and some pivots since we developed that plan some years ago. And, you might want to think about it as a throwing spaghetti against the wall to see what sticks, but I like to think about it as being innovative and trying new initiatives and then holding on to the ones that seem like they're yielding results. And so one of the things that we've done is established a territory management model for our recruiters. So they have an opportunity to develop some really deep, rich relationships with high schools, with other community organizations. To Dr. Hatch's point, we've been very intentional about reviving some partnerships with community partners that may have lapsed over the last several years, especially as a result of the pandemic. So we are in the community. We are inviting the community to come into our buildings. We are leveraging the fact that we have meeting spaces. And so when community-based organizations come to us and they want to use our space, we use it as an opportunity to share with them programs and initiatives that we have going on at the college.
All right, thank you. Now, for credit segment is our largest student segment. And you'll see here over prior year, spring over spring comparison, we're 7% increase over last spring, 23. Now, this slide talks about our increase in 4 populations. There's 2 on this slide are Black males and Latinx males. You'll see right here that once again, City Colleges has surpassed state and national trends for 2-year institutions. When the institutions of the state was 3.7%, we were at 16%. And then we following spring with 11% increase. So we were 16%, then followed up with 11% for Black men. Now for Latinx men, we were 20% spring 23 and followed up with another 8% additional increase. This is consecutively with the intentionality that we've done 2 years of increases. And there's some programs that Black men and Latinx men are drawn to. We've looked at that, and there's also initiatives at each of our colleges that we have for male mentoring groups and so on and so forth. So the data is relatively fresh and new, and we're going to continue to triangulate things and look into it to see if what are the leading things that are driving the increase. Now, when it comes to Black and Latinx females, once again, you'll see the two-year average was 0.1%. City colleges had a 14% increase for Black females in 23, followed by 6% in 24. Latinx females was 9% in 23, followed by 5% in 24. And once again, there are certain programs like community health care worker, pre-surgical technology, cosmetology, digital media, as well as associates in child development and pre-nursing that are really of interest to these two segments. So Chicago Roadmap, under the leadership of Vice Chancellor Peggy Corrales and Associate Vice Chancellor Siobhan Taylor, continue to do good work. Chicago Roadmap introduces our CPS students to college via dual credit or dual enrollment. Spring 24, year over year, a 15% increase. Once again, some double-digit performances, and just continuation of good work that Peggy and her team are doing. Adult education, what can I say? Adult education consists of, ESL, EOL, and other good work that was previously mentioned. Adult education, you'll see this year, a 16% increase, and a lot of these things that they had a little dip a few years ago, but once the schools opened back up, they were able to take off as far as enrollment. They have 6 colleges, as previously mentioned, 24 CPS sites, and 13 locations that consist of parent universities and sites. So a lot of their partnerships with the Mexican Consulate, Chicago Teachers Union, Chicago Housing Authority, and Career Growth Chicago, as well as the bridge programs that was mentioned, as well as the faculty, have been instrumental to this growth. So, once again, continued success for adult education. Last fiscal year, 260 adult education students also transferred to credit side as well. So in regards to the strategies, these are some of the things that we did to achieve these results. So big picture, as mentioned earlier, we had strategic enrollment plans. We had SIM plans that we created for each school and pretty much inspect what we expect. And from there, we reviewed it and we made adjustments as needed because they are living documents. There was a significant increase in marketing, proof the amazing video we saw earlier. And then as well as the Chicago Roadmap, like I mentioned, we have 18 post-secondary navigators that are located throughout the Chicago high schools, 84 high schools. There has been an increase in investments in free college and funding and grants and waivers, as well as additional focus on retention efforts. We, as President Potash mentioned, the mandatory new student advising and make sure that students meet with the advisors the first year-long scheduling to ensure that the classes are there, as well as equitable outcome funding. These are funding programs to make sure that we are retaining black students. Now, as I mentioned earlier too, this was the what, but how we did this is once again just the students, the people, the collaboration, the leadership teams, and the faculty. Now we have this chart right here. This is what I alluded to on the first page in the executive summary. These are our yield rates. When the chancellor brought me on a few years ago, I was tasked with an assignment to quickly move the needle. In an institution this size, there are several metrics and KPIs that you would look at for enrollment management, but an institution this size, the thing that we identified to get the most movement at this short amount of time would be the admitted to yield rate. That's the amount of admitted students who enroll. So you'll see when we started this initiative back, and 30% is the minimum goal that we want to be at. When we started this initiative back in fall 21, only 3 schools hit that mark, okay? And then when we did it again in spring 22, you'll see that same thing, 3 schools. So you have a fall and a spring. Those are 2 different student types, right? So then the following year for fall, we had 4 schools hit that. The following year for spring, we had 6 schools, and a few schools started to even get into the 40s, right? Then fall 23, we had 6 schools hit it, and then this past spring, we had 3. Now, I want to point out Daly. Right from the start, Daly has been 30% and higher, you know. And then this past spring, you know, and then also the caveat is Malcolm X. Malcolm X has a lot of allied health classes and selective enrollment, so these metrics really doesn't apply to them. You know, we look at 4 metrics total. So 1 matrix wouldn't make or break an institution, but the other ones apply, and they hit those, and that's why they lead in volume. Now, this past spring, we were just shy of 30%. Well, we also had an increased volume of applications as well as leads or inquiries. And some of those conversions were a little off, but the whole number is what matters, because ultimately we were 9.2% above. And that right there concludes my presentation. That's the last slide. Are there any questions for me at this time?
Since there are no questions, thank you so much for the presentation, Vice Chancellor Williams. As stated earlier, due to FC4 President's work schedule, they will not be attending the meeting today. However, their report will be entered into the record. Provost Potter, please give your district update.
Chair, the presentation that we just heard was the district update.
Trustee Swanson, please give your committee report.
Thank you. At the committee meeting of the Academic and Student Affairs earlier today, Chancellor Salgado, along with President Sanders and President Webb Walker, presented a presentation of the expansion of healthcare programs in Chicago's South Side. The expansion will include Kennedy King's Inglewood campus. Malcolm X, in collaboration with Kennedy King's Inglewood campus, will operate an associate's degree in nursing program. Malcolm X will also open a new facility providing health science education at Washington Park campus to be built with our partner University of Chicago Medical Center. This proposed plan will bring with it many opportunities that will benefit both the students and the communities involved, meeting the high demand from Southside residents for healthcare career pathways. And I gotta say, it was a lot of enthusiasm in the room. Incredible project, really exciting to hear about it all. In addition to that update, we also reviewed the minutes, resolutions, personnel items, resource development report, agreements, purchases, and legal invoices included in today's agenda as a part of the consent agenda for the April 4th, 2024 regular board meeting. And with that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Swanson. We will now proceed to consider the items on the April 4th, 2024 consent agenda, excluding item 1, which was voted on separately at the beginning of this meeting. This month, all items for board action are on the consent agenda, which is printed on the paper that can be picked up outside this room. I would note again for the record that these items were discussed in detail in the committee meeting preceding this board meeting, as noted by Vice Chair Swanson. Does any trustee have questions or comments on any of the items listed on the consent agenda or wish for separate action on any of these items? May I have a motion to approve the minutes, resolutions, excluding resolution 1.0, personnel report, research development report, agreements, purchases, and legal invoices containing the consent agenda and it identified as part of the printed agenda on a single roll call vote?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Will the Chief Advisor call the roll?
Vice Chair Swanson.
Approved.
Secretary Davis.
Approved.
Trustee Lopez.
Approved.
Trustee Hatch. Chair Newquist.
Approved.
Trustee Sanchez.
Approved.
Trustee Goldblum.
Approved.
Thank you all. Let the record show that the minutes, resolutions, excluding the resolution 1.0, which was voted on separately at the beginning of this meeting, personnel report, research development report, agreements, purchases, and legal invoices included on the printed April 4th, 2024 consent agenda have all been approved. Now, and in accordance with the Illinois Open Meetings Act, the board may hold a closed session for the discussion of matters related to a number of specified topics. Today's closed session will be for the discussion of matters related to the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body or legal counsel for the public body. Collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or their representatives or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees. Litigation, when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court of administrative tribunal, or when the public body finds that an action is probable or imminent, in which case the basis for the finding shall be recorded and entered into the minutes of the closed meetings. May I have a motion to go into a closed session with a roll call vote?
So moved.
Second.
Will the chief advisor please call the roll?
Vice Chair Swanson.
Approved.
Secretary Davis.
Approved.
Trustee Lopez.
Approved.
Trustee Hatch. Chair Newquist.
Approved.
Trustee Sanchez.
Approved.
And Trustee Goldblum.
Approved.
Let the record show that the closed session motion has been approved. We will be back. (2024) regular board meeting is now reconvened. There was no action taken during this closed session. Ms. Phillips, please call the roll.
Vice Chair Swanson.
I'm sorry, we didn't need a motion first? Are we adjourning?
Yeah. No, we're closing closed session.
Well, closing codes, so I'm present
Yes.
again? Okay.
Because sometimes people leave, in closed
Okay.
session too.
I don't remember doing that. Apologies.
Okay. Secretary Davis.
Approved.
Trustee Lopez.
Here?
Trustee Hatch.
Here.
Trustee Newquist.
Here.
Chair. Trustee Sanchez.
Here.
And Trustee Goldblum.
Here.
There being no further business to come before the board, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion carried. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All in favor, say aye.
I think we all have to say aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
All in favor?
All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay.
Okay. Adjourned. Thank you.